Hello, and welcome to the Pest Control Marketing Podcast with your host, me, Hal Coleman, uncensored and unplugged. Pay attention, take lots of notes, because you're going to find out exactly how to get more new customers, more referrals, and grow your business.
Hal Coleman has been active in the pest control industry for over 40 years, including owning and operating his own successful pest control business for 18 years. He now devotes his time to helping other PCOs and other WCOs double, triple, and even quadruple their businesses faster than they ever imagined. Be sure to check out his website, pestcontrolmarketer.com. For more information about Hal's coaching program, you can reach him at 770-993-0004 or email him hal@halcoleman.com. Mike Stewart is known as the Internet audio and video guy. Since the birth of the Internet, Mike has been showing small business owners how to get more new customers, increase their sales, and grow their businesses online using audio and video, now with iPhones and Android phones. For more information about Mike's coaching program and his online training courses, visit MikeStewartCoaching.com or email him mike@internetaudioguide.com.
First impressions. When you and I met 35 years ago, you just didn't make a good first impression on me.
Oh, really? Huh.
No, I'm just kidding. You did, and here we are working together 35 years later. First impressions. I want to tell you a little story, Mike, about my sister and an experience she had with first impressions. People make a first impression generally within the first 4 seconds. The first 4 seconds that we meet somebody, we form a first impression. It could be before they ever speak a word, before they ever even look our way. We look at them from top to bottom. Our subconscious mind sizes them up and judges them right there. So it's so critically important that we understand the first impression. Now, my sister lives down in St. Pete, Florida, and she bought a bungalow house there about 7 years ago and was going to do some fixing up to it. And she wanted to have her bathroom redone. And modernized a little bit. So, she asked me about it. I said, well, look, get 3 estimates. I said, don't just go with the first person you find. I said, get 3 estimates, talk to them, and then after you have conversations with them and everything, you can decide who you feel the most comfortable with. So she did that. And then she gave me her report, which, actually, I write about this in my new book. Incidentally, I have a new book out, Mike. It's called Bottom Line, How to Grow a Pest Control Business. And I'm so thrilled about it because I've spent quite a few years working on this book, and it's just a culmination of everything I've learned in over 40 years of trying to market a pest control business. And so, and right now, if you're listening to this podcast, I would like to give you a copy of that book absolutely free. All you have to do is go to howtogrowapestcontrolbusiness.com. howtogrowapestcontrolbusiness.com and download your free copy of my book. And in that book, I tell the story of my sister. So she got the 3 estimates. And the first guy that came out, she said he's a nice looking guy. He seemed to be on the ball, but she said he started talking, and she told him, what she wanted to, kind of what she wanted to do. And she said, this guy would just, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. We'll do this, and I'll do this, I'll do that. And she said, this guy just took off telling her how he was going to do everything. And she said, it was like he didn't listen to a word she said. It's like he was just going to do what he wanted to do. And she said, I felt like he was oblivious to what I wanted. He didn't listen. That's the big thing. He didn't listen to her at all. He just told her what he was going to do. So she didn't feel comfortable with him at all. He was, she just felt like that was arrogant, and he wasn't concerned with her at all. Now, the second guy who came out, she said, got out vehicle. He was kind of sloppily dressed, not well groomed and kind of ratty looking. And he starts talking to her and using a little bit of kind of off-color humor. She said he made kind of a racially disparaging remark about a neighborhood that was near her neighborhood, and she was just highly offended by that. She said she just couldn't wait to get that guy out of there. She said, I wouldn't do business with somebody like that for $1 million. And then the third guy who came out, she said, nice-looking guy, clean-cut, warm and friendly. And she said he just sat there and engaged her and listened to every word she said. And he kept asking her questions to get more information from her about what she wanted. She said he just made it all about me and wanted to make sure that he knew exactly what I wanted so that he could get it exactly right. And she said she just felt so comfortable awarding him the contract, and he did the work, and it proved to be the right choice. He did a great job. His follow-up was great, but she said it made her feel that it was all about her. So all of this was in, their first impression when they came out to meet with her. So that's just an example of how the first impression got the job. So pick it up, Mike. I'm tired of talking. I got to get another sip of coffee.
Well, it's funny how people size up people by the things they say and do, and how they dress, and how they groom themselves, and how their hair looks, and unfortunately, based on things that we get in the first 4 to 15 seconds, you start forming opinions. And, you may have ways of redeeming yourself by being attentive, by listening, by asking questions, and letting, one of the things you taught me years ago is let the other person talk, And
my wife says I don't do that.
Well, I guess because in your mind you think you can get away with that. But, it'd probably work real well with her as well. It's really hard, especially for men, to be listeners sometimes. We're fixers. Our natural instinct is to have, when there's a problem, well, I'm going to fix this. And sometimes people just want to be heard. And then after you listen, you'll have an opportunity to maybe fix some things. Yeah. So at the end of the day, really be conscious of, doing the right things, saying the right things. Avoid saying the things that could create negative impressions. What's the joke? Don't talk about religion, politics, or sex.
Family, religion, politics, sports, or sex. Yeah. That's right. Those 5 things.
When you're meeting somebody for the first time, make sure that you talk about, what they're interested in. What do they want to accomplish? What are your visions? What would you like to see happen? And, when you're asking about them and you show an authentic interest in them, I think it melts away a lot of any negativity because, I've actually formed opinions about people just, how they look, something they have no control over themselves.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I was president of the Georgia Pest Control Association in 2004 and 2005, and oh golly, was it that long ago? My goodness, where did the years go? Yeesh.
Yeah,
that's scary. But anyway, I did a lot of training around the state of Georgia for our association. And I went to speak at a region. We have the states divided up into about a dozen different regions, and each region has a region director who has training meetings in his region. The Georgia Pest Control Association just has a vast network of training and opportunities for people to get those CE credits. And I went down to speak at one of our regions in the state to do like a 2-hour presentation. And there were probably about 35 people came to it. And these were mostly technicians who were coming there to get an hour's credit or get 2 hours credit. I don't remember what was offered. But so we had it at this hotel in a conference room, and about 30 or 35 pest control guys came in to that training class. Now, they came in off of their routes, okay? They were out working that morning, and this training was like from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So they actually came off of their routes and came into the training. And I was just shocked. The only word I can use is shocked at how some of those people looked. They came in, and some of them, not all of them, but some of them came in just nasty looking. I mean, they were wearing maybe uniform shirts, but they had on faded jeans, and some of them even had some holes in the jeans, and they had on nasty coats, and they had on caps that had nothing to do, logos with nothing to do with the company that they worked for. I think several of them even had on like camouflage caps, and they were unshaven. And I know today, here in 2017, the scruffy Hollywood look, you know, the 5-day beard growth, or the 3-day, the unshaven look, and the tousle messed up hair. That's stylish in the Hollywood community and out there in certain circles. But in home service industries where you got to show up at a total stranger's door and they don't know you, that can really work against you. Some of these people, you know, came off of their routes. They had big dips in their mouth, and they were spitting in cups, and they were and I'm thinking, you know, if some of these guys showed up at my house, if I called a company to take care of my bugs, and one of these guys showed up at my door, I would think, holy smokes, who am I dealing with here? Especially, we talked in another episode about marketing to the affluent. The affluent might close the door in your face and call the police, you know. And looking at some of the vehicles that people showed up at for this training, some of their vehicles were nasty, dirty, junky, and even the logos on the side, some of it was peeling or worn away. And I'm just thinking, wow, this is so detrimental to these companies. Does the owner not realize this? He sends people out like this. He lets them come to work like this. And that might be okay if you're marketing, you know, if you're marketing to a lower income clientele where everybody, when you get there, and they all look like you do. So that's okay. But that impression is going to be formed in about 4 seconds. And maybe they don't even see you. Maybe it's when they call your business. It's how you answer the phone. Hello, it's Fred's Exterminating. You know, or it's a great day at Fred's Exterminating. This is Fred. How can I help you today? That one first impression of how do they answer the phone. And if people are calling around, talking to businesses, and they're getting voicemails and they're hearing messages, they all pretty much sound the same. Hi, this is Fred. I'm sorry I can't take your call, but it is very important to me. If you would leave your message and your phone number, we will return your call as soon as we can. You know, and now all of a sudden somebody pops up with something that sounds different and alive and real, and there's just a connection there. So it all happens in that first impression. Maybe they just pass by your business every day, and they look over at your storefront, and they see that it's junky, and your sign is worn out or peeling, and they see your truck sitting out front, and it's junky, and it's dirty, and it's faded, and it's these are just first impressions, and it doesn't always even have to be the first human face-to-face connection. It's just a visual impression. So very, very, very important that you make a powerful first impression, because that impression is going to stick for a long time. And in many cases, it's difficult to change. So anyway, Mike, that's about all I can say about this today in the limited time we have. But you want to close it out?
Well, absolutely. I think that if for no other reason, think about and be objective. Every part of your business, the people that work with you, the equipment you have, the clothes you have, the way you talk, the things you say, your website, your logos, your graphics, your everything you do, make sure it makes an impression of professionalism, and that you eliminate all the negativity, so that when people see you for the first time, no matter where or they see or hear you, that they're left with, you know what, I want to know more. We call it in the internet stickiness. We want to make such a great first impression that people stick around to learn more, and we call that stickiness. So when you don't do everything you can to keep people wanting to know more information, you may lose them forever. And what's the value of a customer? I mean, what's the lifetime value of a customer? It's not worth ignoring making better first impressions.
Absolutely. And I'll add this. I talk more about this in my newest book, The Bottom Line, How to Grow a Pest Control Business. So as I mentioned earlier, I'd like to give you this book for free. Go to howtogrowapestcontrolbusiness.com, download your free copy, and you can read a lot more about first impressions in there. So with that said, Mike, time to get out of here, old friend.
See you next time. Thanks for listening to the Pest Control Marketing Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast in iTunes and on your phones, and in Stitcher on your Android. But more importantly, go to our website, pestcontrolmarketingpodcast.com. Subscribe to our email list to always be notified of new episodes. You're never going to want to miss what we've got coming up next, and you never know what we're going to be able to do to help you with your pest control marketing.